Boruto and Kawaki finally used their karma seals in Spar for the first time. Now, I'm going to be doing something different on this channel. I know usually what I do is I usually only talk about the manga for about 2 videos per month. And I know that's not necessarily the best, so I'm going to start splitting the manga up in multiple small videos. So throughout the month, I'll probably make like 10 videos about the manga and probably like 10 videos or more about the anime. So it'll probably be a healthy balance because I do understand that some of you guys do not completely like the anime and you guys are much more entertained by the manga. And rightfully so. Kawaki just fought Boruto with their karma seals activated, like, let's be honest. So without further ado, I'm going to be going into the actual video at hand. Now, as I said, first things first. Now, Kawaki, as you can tell by the title, it looked like he was much more advanced at the karma seal than Boruto was, and you should expect that, man, because being with Jigen, Kawaki already understood that he had to learn about the karma seal. Jigen actually forced him to learn about the karma seal multiple times, over and over and over. We've seen that in the last chapter when we see Kawaki and Jigen sparring. So this is nothing new, and it's insane. It's like some of the times where Boruto did know how to use some of the activities or the abilities of the karma seal, Kawaki was just like, what? But going into the actual scenes now, it started off with their usual taijutsu. And of course, we do understand that it seems as of right now, Boruto and Kawaki, we do understand they're kids, so their taijutsu is probably not going to be the best, but their taijutsu is pretty much even kill. Like, there's not much separation between Kawaki and Boruto. We've seen that before from when they did spar in the past. If you guys recall, I think it was chapter 27. They sparred in the past and it was pretty even, and Naruto stopped it as soon as they activated their karma seal. Now, it was the same thing right here in this situation. Now, right after they had that taijutsu clash, this is like one of the biggest things about Kawaki. He had this thing that just came out of his arm. Now, Naruto in the chapter did tell Himawari that this was scientific ninjutsu. A lot of people are probably going to be like a little bit off edge about the scientific technologies, but I think this one right here, it might be a little bit cool, man, because it's built into Kawaki. Like, he can revert it back to a regular arm, and not only that, it doesn't look extremely futuristic. I mean, if you look at his arm, it looks terrible in terms of an aesthetic perspective. It just looked like a bunch of cells just grew off of his arm. I feel like if Kawaki would turn his whole arm into like an actual AK-47 or something like that, people would have a lot more problems with it. But as of right now, I think people have a little bit of a problem with Kawaki doing this, man, because Naruto is straying away from what it does best. But I feel like this right here isn't that over the edge crazy. Now, what Kawaki did with this arm, number one thing that could possibly do is defend. It defended against some of Boruto's shuriken. Now, this is all stuff that we've seen before. Of course, when we seen Kawaki fight against that one outer member of the Kata organization, he was forced to use a lot of his abilities in that fight. And of course, he used another ability from that fight as well. He used one of the things, I'm not even completely sure what it is. He fires off these beams out of his arm. There's a different one where it looks like a shuriken, where it's actually something physical, but this right here looks like a beam. As I said, I have no idea what it is, especially now because in the last chapter of the Boruto manga, Kawaki actually verbalized that he didn't even know that he could use ninjutsu. So this right here isn't even a ninjutsu. This literally just comes off from his arm. One of the things that I do find interesting is that Boruto could probably use this and take it to a different type of path. Of course, a lot of people know that in Boruto they use chakra, in Hunter x Hunter they use nen, in Dragon Ball Z they use bioenergy, things like that. So it could possibly present a totally new source of energy from the Naruto characters, which could also just be energy. We're going to be seeing multiple characters with scientific ninjutsu built into them. One that we did see was Ao. I'm pretty sure you guys remember Ao back when we first started this whole Kawaki arc. And not only Ao, we also have another person, which her name is Delta, and looks like she'll be fighting Naruto in the next chapter. I'll definitely make a video about that in the future. So this whole thing could add a different dynamic to the Naruto fighting scenes. Of course, I'm pretty sure you guys all know at a certain point a ninja would run out of chakra, and if they run out of chakra, they'll of course be tired, they'll be dead tired, or they'll just die because of lack of chakra. But when we talk about these human beings, the Kawakis, the Aos, the Delta, they don't necessarily have to rely solely on chakra, and I feel like that right there gives them a huge boost over the other characters, over the other ninja that rely solely on chakra. Now, as I said, this one thing that he does blast out, it turns out that he wanted Boruto to try to absorb it. Now, this goes back to the idea that this is just sparring. This isn't Boruto and Kawaki going out and just trying to completely rip each other's faces off. This is literally them sparring and trying to learn about the karma stone. Of course, Kawaki being the guy that he is, he knows a lot about the karma stone because of his fights with Jigen. He has to now teach Boruto how to use the karma seal. So he tells Boruto to absorb this blast. Of course, the thing is, Boruto at one point, I think it was fire, he absorbed a lot of fire and protected his teammates on the mission the first time we seen Kawaki. Now, it turns out in this chapter, Boruto didn't necessarily do it correctly. I don't necessarily know if he did it correctly or if he didn't do it at all, but there was a lot of blowback onto Boruto. Boruto did say because he didn't know how to do it correctly, and Kawaki shot off the blast extremely fast at him, it's like Boruto wasn't completely prepared. But after that, the spar was over. Now, of course, after that fight, they did see Momoshiki. Now, I'm not going to necessarily be talking about Momoshiki in this video because, as I said, I want to make multiple videos about the manga so you guys aren't completely bombarded with a lot of anime videos. So I will be talking about Momoshiki in future videos, and of course what Momoshiki means to Boruto and also Kawaki. But let me know what you guys think about the Boruto and Kawaki sparring scene in the comment section below. As I said, I think Kawaki, he proved that he's actually stronger than Boruto, mainly because when it comes down to karma seals, Kawaki, he knows a lot more than Boruto, and of course because he knows a lot more than Boruto, it's like Kawaki just has that edge, and that's without mentioning Kawaki's scientific ninjutsu body. But it's me, your boy Baara B, and we out.
It's a knife.
Check my clock, I can't stop. Fuck around, make my 40 pop. No popcorn, I pop pistols. Reaming my body, clothing no issue. Bitch, you look sick, you need a tissue. You drop a body, I just might bless you. I'm metrosexual, no high cholesterol. Where's Jenny Craig? Bitch, just get sexual.